You're doing well today. Welcome to Cooped Up Live, should I say, my daily-ish broadcast where I just talk about whatever I want to talk about while we are waiting on folks to join. Reminding you that coopedup.com is my website. You can visit that at any time. Just see what I'm up to, subscribe to my e-newsletter, all of that fun business. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all the social places. Would love a follow wherever you are, particularly if you're on the Instagrams. And wherever you watch or listen to this, it is broadcast on Facebook Live, both on my personal profile and my Cooped Up page, as well as YouTube Live and rebroadcast in audio format on all of the major podcasting platforms. Would love a follow, subscribe, whatever it is, whatever they call it, on that platform so that you do not miss a second of the fun. So with that, let's get rolling. Hey, Mama, how you doing today? Hope you are doing well. Eric likes my shirt. Love the Joe shirt. Yeah, I didn't get to wear it yesterday. In case you don't know who Joe is, most powerful man on the planet. I was very happy to whip this out of the closet this morning. I was already dressed and out of the house yesterday when he announced that he is running for re-election yesterday. So I did not get a chance to wear this yesterday. So I decided today is the day. So I normally don't talk politics. I'll talk about politics, but I don't specifically talk politics. But I don't think there's any doubt in my thoughts on the matter. And this kind of cements that. So anyway, who else, if you are in the Dallas area, who else is exhausted today? Me. I'm sure you can. My eyes feel really heavy. I am like falling asleep at my desk all day today. It's because we had these terrible storms last night. Normally, I sleep through storms. Normally, it takes an act of Congress to wake me up, either that or my bladder. But last night, we had one of those storms where it blew in so fast, and it wasn't particularly windy or anything like that. It was just a lot of rain and a lot of thunder and lightning. And it wasn't the thunder and lightning where you just kind of see it in the distance and you 10 seconds later hear it rumbling or whatever. This was where it was the whole room lit up and then you heard the thunder before the lightning even went away. It was like just like that. It was crazy. And I think we got like 3 or 4 rounds of it last night. And so I did not sleep well at all. Like I was up every 20 minutes after 2 o'clock pretty much. And then even today, I had a very busy day today. I had to have a consult with Mason's doctor about ADHD. More on that later. And what else? Had a haircut, obviously, today. Had a bunch of work I had to get done, all of that kind of stuff. So no rest for the weary, but I am like, oh my God. And I am a terrible napper. I've addressed this before. So I actually try to resist taking a nap, if at all possible. Eric slept through all of it. His volume apparently did its job. Yes. I have also been told, so some of my employees live in Uptown, not too far from you, Eric, and that it was not as bad where you are as it was here. So the storm must have just come directly above Oak Cliff where we are. And Aaron is saying, cloudy skies make me want to take a nap. Yes, absolutely. But again, I am a terrible napper. I get surly. I wake up and I'm in a terrible mood for about an hour. And everyone, and at this point, it's 4:30 now. If I were to take a nap now, I might be able to rally and get through the bad mood, I guess, that follows the post-nap bad mood, rally, and then still sleep well tonight. I do not know. But I will sleep well tonight as long as it doesn't storm again. But man, it was crazy. And then even this morning, so the appointment for the therapist was at 11. So I had to leave at like 10:30. Well, at 10:25, the sky decides to open up, thunder and lightning again. And supposedly in Uptown or in kind of Oaklawn, the design district, it actually hailed. And it shut Left Field Airport down, I believe, and maybe maybe DFW as well. But I think that storm this morning also shut down a lot of stuff. So, anyway, oh my God, hang on, let me go put my phone on do not disturb. But anyway, so yeah, so I just really tired. I actually started to fall asleep in the chair at the hairdresser's today. And we were just chatting along, and I just kept yawning and kind of dozing off. And then in the chair, she normally does like a good head massage and such. And I was kind of like, okay, let's just keep this one short because otherwise I am going to straight up fall. Like I could literally lay my head on the desk right now and within seconds be asleep. That's how tired I am right now. Eric, you got a Joe shirt that you need to get out too. I get compliments on this one all the time. I think that it is such a to the point t-shirt. It tells you everything you need to know about who I support, who I am, what I am, all of that kind of stuff, why I support him, all that kind of stuff. I actually am a huge, just from a graphic design standpoint, I'm a huge fan of this shirt. Anyway, and it's a short sleeve shirt. It's a little chilly today too, so wore a long sleeve shirt under it. What else? Claire has officially joined the Rolling Rebellion. It's a roller derby league. So Monday night, so I wasn't here yesterday. So Monday night after I was here, we went out to Grand Prairie. It's only about 15 minutes away from the house, which is wonderful. And went out and had a 2-hour practice. We just kind of watched. They were scrimmaging, and we talked to some of the parents and the coach and all of that kind of stuff. It was okay. A couple of things. One, it was one of the nicest groups of like teenagers I've been around ever. Everyone was so kind. Everyone was so well spoken, and they were kind of like freaky, like different hair colors, lots of piercings, like just a really like funky group, I guess. And I don't mean any of this negatively. Like it was just a very eclectic mix of things. We were probably the most conservative looking people there, and so. But it was wonderful. They were also nice, and it just cracks me up that such nice, kind, considerate, empathetic people are so into just like beating the shit out of each other on roller skates. Like those two things are not colliding in my brain. So Claire will start as a beginner as a level 1, which means that she will, at scrimmages for the first month or two, will actually not be in roller skates at all. They have all of them in just their running shoes, and they run around and simulate it. They can't like ram into each other at that level. They can touch each other, but not like push each other. So a lot of them put their hands behind their back, and they just use pressure to kind of get through. So that's kind of how the emphasis on training is insane. Like it is so hardcore. We have to do a concussion awareness kind of course thing. She has to learn how to fall appropriately, which is wonderful. Fall forward on your knees, one knee first, and then the second knee, and then put your fist down. How to fall without putting your fingers out so that they don't get run over. Like it's really, really well organized, and intense isn't the right word. Just very intentional, I think, is the right word for it. So. The practice, so they practice every Monday night from 6 to 8, and then they do a monthly assessment as well. So on Monday there's an assessment for all of them to figure out what level they're at, because I forgot. Let me finish. Level 1 is just like the no contact, all that stuff. Level 2 is that you are in skates and you can make contact, but you can't make what was the word they used? It can't have momentum behind it. So you can touch someone and then push them, but you can't ram into them like that. And then level 3 is there's no holds barred on that. You just have to stay within the rules. But they were very good at explaining the rules. So there's practices. So my first question again was, what's the time commitment for this? As I mentioned on Monday. So there are practices every Monday night from 6 to 8. And then one match per month, and it's usually on a Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes it's here. There may be some travel involved. They had one in Round Rock recently. They had one in Denton because there's another junior league in Denton. They've had to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and then there was somewhere else. maybe College Station. I can't remember. There was one other. No, San Antonio. That's what it was. San Antonio. So there is some travel involved, which if it's once a month and not obligatory, like they just need to know if you're going to be there or not. It's actually a quite large group of kids too. Like I was surprised by that and how everyone just kind of found out about it. So she has to pick a number still, and she has to pick a derby name. And some of these names are like intense. Some of them are just like straight up like the Crusher or something like that. Just very straightforward. One of them was this kid's name was Dapperling, and it's co-ed, by the way, boys and girls, and it's ages 9 through 17, I believe. But and then when you're 17, depending on your size and your age, you can choose either to stay in the junior league or go up to the adult league. And most of them go up because they don't want to be hurting smaller kids. Again, this is how kind and nice. They're not thinking about competitive advantage of being big so I can like take over and just maul these other small kids. Like they are like, oh no, I don't want to hurt them. So they go up. Like I was really, really impressed. But there's one kid's name was Dapperling, which is a type of deadly mushroom because this kid likes mushrooms and wanted it to be not a poisonous mushroom. Her mother said it was a poisonous mushroom. And she was very quick to say, no, Mom, it's not a poisonous mushroom. It's a deadly mushroom. Poisonous mushrooms just make you sick. Deadly mushrooms, gone. So Claire's trying to figure out her name. She kind of wanted bear in it somehow. And so she is kind of circling around Grizzly Glare, because Claire's well known for her glares also. But that's a little bit of a mouthful. So Grizzly Glare. And or she may just go with like Death Glare or just the glare or something. It will probably have glare in it. So anyway, Monica says when she derbies, you'll need to let me know. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I know. Who knows? Who would have told Cooper in 2019 Cooper, in addition to all these things, you were going to be a derby dad? Yes, that just cracks me up. Yay for Claire. Thanks, Mom. She's very excited about it. And I could tell, so she's hardcore. So she's already like, where are my skates? I want to start practicing on my skates. So, because she has to have a specific type of skate. She already has the pads. We had to order a helmet, all these kind of things. And I think actually the skates just got here. I think I just got a notification on my phone. But, and so she really wants, it's raining again right now, I think. So she can't really go out and skate, but we'll see. But it should be exciting. I'm very proud of her. She is towing the line though between wanting Mason to do it and not. Like she this morning was talking about like, Mason, you should do it. But then she also kind of wants it to be her thing. There are a lot of siblings in this. So I think that would be cool. I think it's going to look great on like her school applications that she's in roller derby. Like that's really cool, really neat. Like so much better than soccer, right? So build that girl a rink. I know. Always put it in the gym, right? And the interesting thing is all of the matches are not necessarily on the same type of floor. Like the ones, so our home rink is not that Grapevine or Grand Prairie. It's out in North Richland Hills. It's at that place that we went to the Clover Cup for the grown-up derby stuff. And theirs is on, it's an ice skating rink that they cover with a sports court. So it's cold in there. And so that's that. And so it's on sports court, which has a little bit of a more texture to it than like the rink that we were practicing on is an old school. This is like an old school, like 1970s roller skating rink. Like I think the carpet is still from the 70s. The benches, I mean, it's old school. So Eric's saying derby beats soccer on a resume any day. It's just at least more interesting, right? I think so too. So I will keep y'all posted on that. We may be taking the RV out to some of these things, like just go camping. They did say that part of the fun though is all staying in the same hotel. Some of them, they said like they did one in Tulsa recently, I believe, and it was at like 2:00. So most of people just drove up and did the match and then drove back, because the matches, here's the other thing. The matches are, it's 2 30-minute halves and a 15-minute intermission. So the whole thing is, so you do all this whole trip for an hour and 15 minutes of play, right? So, but it's worth it. I mean, people do more for their, I mean, I know people who travel for their kids' basketball games, volleyball games, all that kind of stuff. And if it's within driving distance, it's fine with me. So, anyway, but very proud of her. I'll keep you posted on the name also. I'm going to have to get the cricket out and make some custom t-shirts for her, for all the fan section, for her, also to practice in. So we'll see. It'll be super fun. What else do I have? I have on my list. Oh, last night. So this is the last week that James Corden has the Late Late Show on, is it CBS? I believe it's CBS. And, you know, he does this carpool karaoke. They did the very final carpool karaoke, which I'm a huge fan of. There are some nights that Todd and I will just put YouTube on the TV and we'll watch one after another of this carpool karaoke, and only the ones that have James Corden in it. I don't really care for the newer ones that have just a different mix of celebrities. I don't hate them. They're not as good to me as the James Corden ones. He's so fast and interesting. But the Adele one, the original Adele one, was just bar none my super fave, right? The most famous, or the first famous person to do it was Mariah Carey. I did not realize that. And then after Mariah Carey did it, it gave legitimacy to it, and he started getting calls from like Stevie Wonder and stuff like that. Anyway, on YouTube last night, yesterday, they uploaded the final carpool karaoke, and he had Adele on it again as the final carpool karaoke. And it is wonderful. So if you have any interest in, if you like James Corden, Adele, singing in the car, laughing, crying, any of these things, I highly recommend it. Carpool karaoke, the final carpool karaoke. There were parts of it where I'm laughing, singing along, and then near the end, I'm like in tears. Like I'm just like, it's over. Carrie actually sent it to me. She's like, girl, this is gonna make you notebook cry. I was like, yes, and it did. She was right. It did. The most interesting thing about it, I am always fascinated by celebrity friendships. So people that you don't know who are friends, and certainly you don't know who are super close friends, or kind of around each other. Thank you, Eric. You and tears, groundbreaking. I know, doesn't take a lot, but last night there was a lot. But supposedly Adele and James Corden are like best friends. Like they vacation together with their families, like all this kind of stuff. And to the point where there was one section of it where she talks about, there's a certain song that she wrote, and it's about him. Like the beginning of the song, the whole first thing is about him. Like I had no idea about this. Shocking to me. And he has to stop singing at one point because he's starting to break up and cry so much too. But it was really, really good. So I highly recommend it if you are a fan of any of that. So, and then Carrie and I were texting last night about, I wonder what he's going to do next. So he's moving back to England with his family, his wife Jules, and I think they have one kid, maybe two. But they're moving back to England. My prediction is that he's not just going softly into the night. You know, he had a lot of controversy. He had the realization that he's a dick, or he was at least, and they addressed it a little bit, the thing. So there was like an interview that he gave, and he admitted that he doesn't even know his cameraman's name. And then he was terrible to this waitress, and that kind of made the headlines, all that kind of stuff. And so he kind of was like a person he didn't like, came to that realization. And with all of that, he's kind of wrapping up the show. But my guess is he's going to move back to England, and he is going to become a big time, like, what's the guy's name? Graham Norton type character. Like either Graham Norton, he's going to give him a run for the money, or Graham Norton's going to retire or something. But here's the thing. I think James Corden has more celebrity connections now than Graham Norton does. And so he may be sucking away some of the talent that might normally go to Graham Norton. I know nothing about British television other than the Graham Norton show, Absolutely Fabulous, and a couple of other shows. So I don't know if they're like America, where there are like 4 levels of late night shows where you have the main one, and then a later one, and then the late one, and then like the dead of night one. So, but yeah, the waitress thing was a big deal. You're right, Eric. It was like I think that was when a lot of people realized, like, hey, maybe you're not as likable as we think. And you know what? I think that I can offer him grace in a lot of that, because I think that we have all in our lives gone through cycles where we look back and we're like, oh, well, that wasn't the best version of me. I know that there was a time when I had a job that I really, really disliked. And it was to the point where I was throwing up on Saturday, or I was getting nervous on Saturday, because on Sunday I knew that Sunday was my last day before I had to go back to work, and I would throw up like in the parking lot or on the way. Like some mornings on the way to work, I would have to pull over to throw up because I was just so upset and didn't like it. I was trying to get out of there. Luckily, I didn't, because I ended up starting my business instead. And but it was just a really like toxic work environment at the time. But I was lashing out at people afterwards. Like I lost a ton of friends as a result of that period of my life. I was just, because I didn't have control of that, I was being terrible in other ways. It was so bad that there were some friends that had an intervention, and I'm still not friends with a lot of those people now. I'm friendly with them, but like, and not because I cut them off. It was just such a like major like nuclear event that things just didn't heal back all the way. But we had some friends that came to Todd and said, "Hey, Todd, we like you. Cooper is a beast, a monster, a terrible person, and we can't be around you." Todd waited about a week before he told me about it. He told me about it, and I was a mess. And of course, Todd's timing was terrible, if we're going to be truthful about this. He told me the night before we left on vacation. And so I was like sobbing. I'm just thinking about it, like all on vacation, just like, everyone hates me, that sort of thing. But it was a great lesson. And my understanding is that that's kind of what James Corden has gone through. I don't know what was bad in his life, or if there was something bad in his life, or fame just went to his head. But he has since realized, like, that was not the true me. I'm not going to be that person anymore. So I offer him grace in that. You're welcome, James. I say that so magnanimously. So anyway, what else y'all got for me to talk about? That was all I had on my cards today. Claire's doctor's appointment yesterday went very well. So she had to get her eyes rechecked a week after from wearing contacts, and she's now in contacts, as 20/20 vision. We'll see what happens if she sticks with them. I believe she will, because she really, really doesn't want to wear her glasses, and she needs them to see. And I think you realize how much you need them when you have them and then you don't wear them anymore. Also, I can remember that from when I had contacts. But all went well. One thing that drives me nuts about the eye doctor's office, though, is, it used to be that you bought your contacts or your glasses from the doctor, right? And that was totally normal. But now there's so many more options that I requested the prescription instead. And I play off, I'm like, my husband handles all that stuff. I know nothing about it. So I'm just giving it to him and he's going to take it over. We may come back to you or whatever. But they're like doing the hard sell, and they're, how about if we give you 10% off? How about if we do this? Oh, your insurance will give you $120 credit per year for it. So it's really only going to cost you this much, like that kind of. And she's in month-long wear. So she can sleep in them some, but she can wear them for a month and then just throw them away and then put on a new pair. And so she needs 12. Is that right? 12 months worth. So that's 24 sets. So 12 for each eye. But Todd's like, I can get them from 1-800-CONTACTS or wherever Todd gets his from. I don't know exactly where it is. And insurance will process that as well. And the final price was like I think at the eye doctor's, it was, I think that for a year's worth was like $248, something like that. And at 1-800 Contacts, I think for a year's worth, it was like, for the exact same ones, it was like $112, $115, $120, something like that. So that's a no-brainer to me. But anyway, and they come fast, and she has a pair now that she can wear for another 3 weeks, so they'll be coming in. But anyway, so that's how that went. If you have anything you want, slide it into the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to start looking through comments and then start signing off. I cannot fall asleep, though. I have to. There's a chair in our house that I sit in sometimes to watch Wheel of Fortune and fall asleep, and I cannot do that tonight. So, because otherwise I won't be able to sleep, like I said. Maybe I should start drinking early. That'll bring me down and then rev me up. I don't know. Alrighty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you were loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Don't should yourself to death. No good comes from should. Be sure you vote if you've got elections going on wherever you are right now. Early voting is happening here in the Dallas area, at least for city council and school board elections and such. And otherwise, I will just see you. What time? At 4:30 tomorrow for another episode of Cooped Up Live, should I say. Talk to you later. Bye.